Well, good evening and welcome to the Arbor Hills Nature Preserve in Plano, Texas. Tonight's exercise is a field test of the Nitecore MH12 Pro. I want to thank Nitecore for sending me this light and making the review possible. I also want to thank all of you who have signed up for the SAR team. That is the private member-only section of the channel. You may see a join button right next to subscribe. Click on that, sign up, in addition to a private community to facilitate direct interaction between myself and members. You also get access to 3 types of exclusive member-only videos. So I hope you see fit to join up and look forward to seeing you on the SAR team in the future. All right, let's get down to business. You've probably seen or read up on this light. There's a lot to get excited about. The new 5300 milliamp hour 21700 battery, the emitter 3300 peak lumens. When I first took it out of the box, the thing that actually surprised me the most was the weight. It's very difficult for me to describe how light this flashlight feels in the hand. You just simply have to pick it up. Now, on the subject of hand, I have average size hands. That will give you a frame of reference. This impresses me somewhere in between an EDC and a tack light. Some people may say it's just a long or large EDC. I'll let you make that determination. The other thing I really like, this texturing. Look at every one of the videos that I shoot during the summer. What do I say? The same thing about every light. I wish it had more aggressive texturing because of the way my hands sweat in the dead of summer in Texas. Well, I took this out on an initial preliminary eval. It was in the high 90s. My hands sweated a lot. I did not have the clip on at that time. It just worked great. And by the way, if you're a member of the SAR team, I record those preliminary evaluations. Those are my field notes to prepare for the full review like I'm filming tonight. Members get access to those videos. Now we have tail cap switch, side switch. This is very nicely textured, very, very definitive clicks. It's very easy to just slide your thumb across and get access to that switch. Or you can use the 2-way clip as a guide to move your thumb in position. Charging port cover on the other side. This doesn't want to go anywhere, no interference, very easy to find and operate the switch. Typical Nitecore daily tactical modes. If you'd like to see the transition between those 2 operating modes, let me know. I'm probably going to film a part 2 of this review. Anyway, let me close the introduction. Go into who this light is for, who this light is not for. Got to hit both sides of the coin. Historically, Nitecore has marketed very heavily to law enforcement, private security, also search and rescue, power users, people who like being on the bleeding edge, new tech. If you're a really hardcore night hiker, explorer, you want something that is a good, lightweight companion to your headlamp. I will do one of those tests tonight. If you live in a rural area, you open up the back door, the fence is 125 yards away. This light is all about making identifications at distance in a very lightweight, easy to carry form factor. That's what I'm going to be looking at tonight when I do the field testing. Try to find out where the edge of the envelope is. Now, let's look at the other side of the coin. If you're a flashaholic, you obsess over color temperature, tints. This may not be the droid you're looking for. I'll say 2 words, and then you can consider just closing the video and going on and doing something else, and I'll thank you in advance for your time. Green tint. All right, if you're still here, you're probably at least curious. Let me finish that side of the coin. I talked about night hiking. If you're into closer range nature observation, especially if you also do night photography, night videography, again, not the droid that you're looking for. It's all about making those identifications at distance. And I know at this point you're probably screaming at the video screen, I want to see it perform, I want to see it perform, I want beam shots, more beam shots. All right then, you want it, you got it. Okay, this is easier to show you than it is to talk about. You can see I've got a couple of different types of indicators here by the side switch. Green here is the battery level, and blue is the current output level, low, medium, high, turbo. I'm in low right now, and you can see even on this grayish concrete, the green tint. It's very slight inside the hot spot, noticeable on the fringes of the hot spot, and in the spill. It's less noticeable as you go up an output level, and it's more noticeable in low output against a white background. Let's head down here towards the creek. This is something I might do in search and rescue, go search by a creek. And you can see as I go out in distance, the effect is much less. Got to really look for moccasins and copperheads tonight. Since it's cooler, they will come out and migrate a lot earlier than they might otherwise. And then move over here, got to watch my footing, and having great visibility to the other side of the creek, and I can't detect any noticeable tinting at that distance. Here is a test in medium. I'm standing further back than normal, so we're probably looking a good 35, maybe 38, absolute maximum line of sight over that creek. Of course, that means that the sign here is now closer. These trees are closer. And of course, this section that I normally light up as the path curves off to the right is closer. So let's keep going around in this direction until we get much further out in an open area. And we have light pollution from the surrounding city. Particulates in the air are pretty mild tonight. So from a medium beam in what might be described as a large EDC form factor light, I'm liking what I see. All right, let's go check out high. And here we are in high. 2 tree lines. I can see well into the far tree line. As I move around to the left, past that tree right in front of me, as I lose line of sight, it's over a football field distance. I'm noting just a little bit of heat in the head area of the light. Let's check out that bird. So I'm going to let this cool down and we'll go check out turbo. And here we are in turbo. That tree I'm lighting up in the distance is 175 plus yards. Let me rotate the iPhone, holding the light fixed so you can see the field of view. And there you saw immediately that you get a pretty aggressive step down. I don't know if that's a showstopper or not. I personally prefer a more gentle, linear ramp down as opposed to, in math, what we would call a step function. So I'm going to let this keep running. I'm holding my hand well towards the back of the light and not experiencing any heat at this time. But you noticed you had very aggressive regulation. Still, I can get some detail from that tree, not as much as before, but with particulates in the air and light pollution from the surrounding city, that's still not bad. I'm just going to kind of let this go for at least a couple of minutes and get an idea of what our steady state looks like from at least 2 to 3 minutes in turbo. And gripping the light in the back half, still no appreciable heat buildup in that section. Well, we're right around 2 minutes. Let's let this go another minute. It's really helping that it's much cooler. Fall weather is finally hit here in North Texas, and we have a very nice breeze out tonight. Unlike when I did my preliminary eval, it's much, much hotter. Okay, that's right at or just over 3 minutes. As long as you keep your hands well towards the back half of the light, you should be good to go. And that's looking like pretty much a steady state after that initial ramp down. I'm going to let this cool down now and then run some more tests. Here is another quick test in high at the top of the observation tower, looking down onto the outer loop trail. And there's what the battery indicators look like. So I've got my SAR headlamp on 400 lumen flood. This is comparable to a lot of high-end hiking headlamps like you might get at a department store or sporting goods store. Can't see out to the edge of that tree line, but let's suppose I think there's some ice shine out there. I need to make a quick identification. Over 50 yards here. Let me bring the MH12 Pro in. That's just on medium. That's all you need. Yeah, I can see deep in there. Great compliment, even at this lower output level, to a typical hiking headlamp. Now this is something I do a lot in search and rescue. I have my headlamp on, but it's only 100 lumen flood. And I'm just kind of looking back inside tree lines here, particularly along the ground like this. This might be a case of a missing child. What I'm looking for right down in here is any sign of something that's broken that shouldn't be broken. Examples of drag marks, something like that's a bit exaggerated, but that's what I'm looking for. And then looking back in here and see if I can pick up anything reflective. I want a good compromise between a beam that can get back deep in the trees, but something where the reflections aren't coming back and destroying what I'm looking at. So this medium output level seems to be getting the job done. That's why when I evaluate a light like this, to me, it's medium and high. Those are the money modes. That's where I'm going to make my living off the lights, so to speak. So thought you might like to see that. Okay, here we are at the wrap-up area. This is wider concrete in medium output level, and you can still see that greenish tint. Let's get over here in the position that I normally do wrap-ups. There we go, good 55 plus yards line of sight. Get that all locked in. My belief is still the same. You take a light out and put it in practical circumstances and conditions, it ought to be able to sell itself. Since this is a downrange identification style light, to me the big issue is finding out where's the edge of that envelope. I think we made a good stride on that tonight. I'm not sure we're exactly there yet. I'd probably like to take this out to the Oak Point Nature Preserve. Got some more wide open views there. Let me just pan around here. Run it pretty much high turbo the entire night. I know I always get asked this question, so I'll give you the honest answer up front. Would I use this light in search and rescue? Any piece of kit has got to prove itself over a protracted period of time, particularly if it's a light. It's got to go through all the temperature extremes, dead of summer, all the way through winter. I want to get this out when it's low double digits or even single digits outside. Until it's gone through all of that, I can't trust it. I don't care how it looks during initial testing. However, given the weight and the output, especially in that medium and high level, I'm really kind of thinking about this as a free light in my ultra light loadout. So I'm going to continue testing it. Perhaps I'll do a third or a fourth video sometime after it's made it through the winter. Let me bump up to, oh, hi, sorry, didn't mean to flash anybody there. That was a matter of incredibly bad timing. Let me move over here. Go ahead and shut it down for the night. And as always, until the next review, thank you very much for your time, and thank you for watching the video.